Hey guys, Paul back again with more DC DoggCrapp training, Dante Trudel training. We're going to go into rest pause, which is what kind of what Dante's training, DC training is famous for, the rest pause sets. Anyone who knows about DC training, the rest pause is kind of one of the central things that are associated with it. So we're going to go into how rest pause sets work today in this video. Before we do so, I would really appreciate it if you take the time to subscribe to my channel. I get a lot of people watching, not that many people subscribing. So if you want to show your appreciation for my work here, please subscribe. Also, if you enjoy the video, hit the like button. If you have questions, ask them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer all the questions. And if you want to get in contact with me directly, my contact information is below. I am on Instagram at Paul K. Barnett. Also, you can reach out to me via email. My email is bigp3rd@gmail.com. All right, so let's dig into it a little bit. Rest pause sets. On most exercises, quads, calves, most rows, forearms, deadlifts are excluded from this. You will, with DC training, you're going to do rest pause sets. Rest pause sets consist of a cluster set of 3 pause sets per exercise. And you'll hear a lot of people talk about cluster sets today, like it's some new revolutionary training technique. Cluster sets are just rest pause. Somebody has rebranded rest pause as cluster sets and to make themselves sound smarter than what they are. It's amazing how many of Dante's techniques and stuff have been rebranded and repurposed for other people's training programs. He was pretty revolutionary on a lot of the stuff. Some of the stuff is, a little dated at this point, but, so for example, rest pause. What we would do, with the rest pause sets, let's say that my working rep range on an exercise, let's take bench press, for example, was 5 to 8 reps on my first set. Okay. I would hit failure on my first set, take 10 to 15 deep breaths. It should be about a 30-second rest. I'd rack the weight, take those 10 to 15. Usually I would do 10 deep breaths in and out. And then do another set, unrack the weight, do another set, probably 3 to 4 reps to absolute failure. Pause again. Take another 10 deep breaths and do another 1 to 3 reps to failure. Your last, usually your last set, your last rep on your last set is a controlled negative to failure, and then your partner will take the weight off of you and rack it. It's a very intense, very taxing way of doing exercises. One of the things I have found is it really beat me up over a period of time. Trust me, you're going to need a break after 3 to 4 weeks. People think those 4-week blasts are too short. And then to do your deload, but you're going to need it after training this way. It is very, very, very intense. So in a sense, you're really doing 3 sets for the exercise, even though it's considered one big set. You're just taking a short break, eking out a few more reps. And I know when we counted the rep schemes, we would do total reps. So in his system, you might see that you have 12 to 15 total reps in your set. What that would mean is that for your rest pause, for all your rest pause reps added together. So say I got 8 on my first set, 3 on my second set, 2 on my third set, be total like 14 or 15, whatever it was. Exceptions to the rest pause quads. It's just too taxing to the CNS to do rest pause on squats, leg presses, hack squats. I mean, it's just, and you can't do it on deadlifts either. For the most of the time, like big heavy barbell rows and shit, you can't do rest pauses. You're just going to hurt yourself, and it's too taxing to the CNS. So quads, he had a theory that quads responded better to higher reps. I tend to have found that to be be true. Most people, they have a different muscle fiber makeup than the upper body. So for quads, you would usually, what we would do is do one heavy set. You would do your heavy set with, for example, let's say you did a 10 rep set on leg press. You would come back, take some weights off, cut the weight by a third, and then do what he would call a widowmaker set, where you would do 20 to 25 reps to total failure. And I'm telling you, if you do 20 to 25 reps, I think I don't know if it was him or somebody else that told me this, but he said, but take the weight that you would do 15 reps with and do 25 with it. Because most people on legs don't get anywhere near failure. That's why you don't see guys with big legs. Legs are what separate the men from the boys. Calves, he had a unique way of training calves. It's hard to describe without actually showing you, so maybe I'll make a video at some point. But for the calves, you would do a straight set, and you would make sure you would use a weight where you could get full range of motion. In my experience, most people use weights that are way too heavy for calves. Okay? And so what he would have you do is you do a explosive positive, and then you would do a 5-second negative, and then you would pause at the bottom and hold a stretch for 10 to 15 seconds. You would push down on your calves and get a good stretch those calves with the weight. Usually the weight would be lighter than what most people use on calves. Most people, like I said, overdo it on calves. That's why, guys, I always crack up when I see people putting 5 plates on seated calf raises, and their calves are half the size of mine. It just cracks me up, and then their range of motion is about 1 inch. For a back thickness, rest pause sets are skipped on the barbell and dumbbell rows and deadlifts because it's just too taxing on the CNS. Now, if you're doing machine rows, cable rows, or some sort of braced machine row where you have your chest braced and you're not axial loading, you can do rest pause on those. But otherwise, heavy rows, bent rows where there is no bracing with free weights or deadlifts are done with no rest pause. Forearms, you also had the theory on forearms that they tend to respond better to higher reps, like calves. So we would do 20 reps or so on forearms, etc. Anyway, that's pretty much it on. Oh, hang on. Actually, I'm not done here yet. One other thing. An important note. During cutting phases, you'll need to be cautious with the rest pause and negatives. One of the things that you have to keep in mind, and this is a philosophy that I've had to shift over the period of time. During cutting phases, like if you're contest prep, your objective is to hang on to the muscle that you earned in the off season. You're going to be in a caloric deficit, so you're not trying to build new muscle during that phase. You're just going to get yourself hurt. So he used to cut the rest pauses and negatives and just go to straight sets when you're doing a diet or a cutting phase. Just something, a note to keep in mind. Anyway, that's it. That's what I have on rest pauses. Take care, guys.